I'm calling the shots. I'm gonna make decisions. I'm gonna do an all-time albums bracket fight. So we got Led Zeppelin 1 versus LCD Sound System. Sound of Silver. I think this is a much better album. Oh my God. Who comes up with this shit? The Antlers versus Arcade Fire? How about neither? Oh my God. Whatever. The Antlers, I don't even know. Okay, this is more fun, more fair. At the Drive-In Relationship of Command versus Velvet Underground and Nico. I'd rather listen to this one. Headhunters versus The Money Store. Wow. This is more of a challenge. This is what I'm looking for a challenge here. I guess Money Store. I did see the 50th anniversary of Headhunters last year at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was fucking amazing. But sorry, I think I gotta go Death Grips on that one. Sikiros. I used to fall asleep to this album when I was a teenager. I can't pronounce the name of this album. Don't even ask me to. Versus Weezer's The Blue Album. I go Wheezy. All right. Beach Boys' Pet Sounds versus Illinois. That is a very hard decision. They're similar albums in that they are both Baroque orchestral pop, chamber pop-ish. And I would say Sufjan is equal to the genius of Brian Wilson, if not more genius. Man, this is a really tough decision. I might go Illinois. Shit. That's hard. Oh, this one's easy for me. I think Dark Twisted Fantasy is one of the most overrated albums of all time. I actually tend to agree with Melon on this one. Although I think 6 out of 10 is a little harsh. I'd give it like a 7.5. I deduct points for the skit in Blame Game. I deduct points for the overly long guitar solo in Runaway. I don't actually like Runaway. I don't know. I don't even think it's in my top 4 Kanye albums. I'd rather listen to Graduation, College Dropout, Late Registration, and Pablo than this one. Daft Punk Discovery is a classic. That's the one I'm going with. I prefer this album by far. And it's far more influential on me as an artist. This is tough. After the Gold Rush is the best solo Neil Young full length, whereas I actually think Songs in the Key of Life is a little bloated. I know that's a little bit of a contrarian opinion. I think it would be potentially Stevie Wonder's best album if it was edited down. I prefer Inner Visions, and I actually prefer Talking Book. So I'm going to go with After the Gold Rush. I don't know what this is on the left. I don't know what that is. And then on the right, we have Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92 by Aphex Twin, which was made by Mr. Richard D. James when he was a teenager. It's a very impressive, I guess you could call it a compilation, but it's his debut album from a teenager who's obviously, influenced by Kraftwerk and just, he has a clear vision of his own aesthetic and tastes from the get-go, which I find impressive for his age. So I'm going that album, but I didn't know the other album. So to be fair, I don't know what Electric Wizard is. Guess it's stoner metal or something. Okay. What's Going On, Marvin Gaye, for sure. There's a lot of albums on this that I don't know. So this next one's going to be controversial, I think, to some people. Oh, all right. Wow, it's got a 4.8 on Rate Your Music. That's incredibly high. So I actually find Hot Rats is not my favorite Frank Zappa album by a long shot. I love Peaches on Regalia. And then the rest of the album hasn't ever really connected with me, to be honest with you. There's many other Frank Zappa albums I prefer to listen to. Zen Arcade is an imperfect album, but it's got lots of bangers on it, and it's so influential, and I love the album cover, and I love the production. And they recorded this record in like 3 days on no sleep on a steady diet of meth. So Zen Arcade it is. Okay, I like this. You know what? This is pretty, this is a confrontation. Tool Lateralis, I have really cool memories of it being stoned out of my mind as a teenager, listening to it on headphones in Jamaica. I do think it's an overly long album. I do think the last couple tracks are a little unnecessary. And I do think if the album was tightened up, it would be close to perfect, right? It's like 13 tracks. If it was like 11 tracks, I think I would prefer it. That said, it has some of the highest highs I've ever experienced on an album. And it does an amazing job of building tension, then fucking releasing it right at the right moment, right? Lateralis is their best album. It does a beautiful job of being progressive, theta fucking hypnotic polyrhythm. There's a simplicity to the complexity. It's a bit of Tool really encompass that balance and that yin and yang interplay, if you will. Vespertine happens to be my favorite Bjork album. I know most people would go Homogenic or maybe even Post, and some people might go Debut. However, I think Vespertine has always been my personal favorite. It really sounds like it's like ice. It's like an icicle. It's like icicles being rubbed on your ears, you know, in the best possible way. It's beautifully chilly. And this album art really depicts the vibe within. Oh man, this is hard. They're kind of equal. I've probably listened to Lateralis more. There's more excitement on Lateralis. Fuck. That's tough. I guess I'm going. Yeah, I guess I'm going Lateralis. That one was really hard. I don't really care about either of these albums. I'm not a Black Flag fan, really at all. I think Damaged is an album that doesn't appeal to me. That's what I think. And it's just not for me. And this debut Black Sabbath album, it's good. It's just really old sounding, but it's so influential. It's the first heavy metal album, arguably. I'm going Black Sabbath debut. That one wasn't really too hard. You know what? I actually do think these albums are pretty equal. There's an argument to be made about either. So, you got Bad by Michael Jackson, which has 7 number 1 hits on it. Fucking crazy. I'm not crazy about I'm not really crazy about Michael Jackson ballads in general. That said, the ballads on this one are better than the ballads on his on Dangerous and especially History. And maybe even better than the ballads on Thriller even, but it is, I mean, Speed Demon's got that shreddy bass, that shreddy program bass line that I fucking love. Oh shit, I didn't mean to click that. Oops, I really didn't mean to click. Anyway, but I honestly, I probably would have gone Bad anyway. Yeah, they are equal. Those albums are really equal to me. The Kraus album by Justice is great. I just don't find it to be as memorable as Bad. What are you doing to me? These are two of my favorite albums of all time. This is my favorite hip hop album of all time versus my favorite jazz fusion album of all time. So it's like pretty fucked. They're both 10 out of 10. It's arbitrary. I mean, obviously we're playing a fun game, but I have to go Bitches Brew for a few reasons. One, because the Bitches Brew box set, the expanded edition, which can also be found separately, it was reissued as Big Fun in the 70s. So the box set encapsulates this album and Big Fun as one big box set, but the original Bitches Brew double disc, which is great. I find it's just more engrossing to listen to the box set, to listen to all the sessions, all the different tracks from those recording sessions. And there's just so many important, influential personnel on this record that become legends of their own, to their own. They become legends of their own right. Is that how you say that? Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Joe Zawinul, Billy Cobham, Dave Holland. I mean, the list just fucking goes on and on. Airto. Yeah, I gotta go, Bitches. I don't want to play these games of the heart, but I must because we're here. So I'm going Bitches Brew. Minor Threat versus Pink Floyd's The Wall. I don't really like The Wall. So I guess I'm going straight edge, Ian Mackay, Minor Threat. Okay. Jethro Tull Aqualunge versus Rolling Stones Let It Bleed. I mean, I'm not into Jethro Tull. And Let It Bleed, although it probably has stuff on it I don't really dig, it also has some of the best rock songs of all time. So I'm probably going to go with that one. Yeah, it's got Gimme Shelter and You Can't Always Get What You Want and Midnight Rambler. I like for a blues rock song, I kind of fuck with it. It's kind of crowdy and like dreamy and trippy. There's something psychedelic about it. Okay, this is a fair fight. Black Sabbath Paranoid versus Sticky Fingers. I mean, those two albums are pretty equal for me. I think this is the best Rolling Stones full length. It only has... Actually, every song on it is really good. It's got a killer track list. Can't You Hear Me Knockin', Brown Sugar, Midnight, or Moonlight Mile, Bitch. I mean, it's an amazing album. Paranoid that's the beginning of Black Sabbath. That's the beginning of heavy metal, right? War Pigs, Paranoid. This is tough. This is really tough. Fuck. Oh, man. I think I'm leaning towards Paranoid by like one cock hair. Just one cock hair. Modest Mouse. The Moon and Antarctica versus Nick Drake's Pink Moon. You know, I'm not a Modest Mouse person. I'm just going to say that openly. I've never been a Modest Mouse person. I'm not against Modest Mouse. I'm actually pretty neutral about them. So by default, I go Pink Moon by Nick Drake because it's fucking Nick Drake. Nick Drake's awesome. Oh, this one's easy, but I'll explain why. All right, White Stripes Elephant, excellent album, best White Stripes album. I remember having a conversation with a legendary artist, R.I.P. Matthew Wong, who I went to high school with. I remember us talking about how good the song Black Math is. I love it. And the guitar solo's sick. Very slutty. I really like this album. I think it's their best album. But it's not Spiderland by Slint, brother. This is one of the best. This is like top 30. For like post-hardcore, post-rock. That's David Pageau on the right. They were all 19 to 20 years old when they recorded this masterpiece. It's actually pretty bewildering when you listen to it because it's such a mature record. I actually think it's a grower. I would also argue Zen Arcade is a grower. I think I bought those two CDs at the same time, along with Frank Zappa. We're only in it for the money. So yeah, I mean this album is so influential for alternative rock, 90s rock. It's Spiderland, dude. Oh my God. Well, all right. Listen. I wonder if this album's gonna come up. Is David Bowie Low gonna come up because of fucking better? Now, Purple Rain by Prince is technically a perfect album. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by the Pumpkins is technically an imperfect album. There is filler on this. There is not filler on this. However, I would rather listen to this any day of the fucking day of this day than I would this. This has more sentimental memories for me. I was 9 years old when I purchased this double compact disc. It really helped me process the fact that my parents had just split up. And I related heavily to the aesthetic and the lyrical, just like the narratives and the message and the I said aesthetic. I mean, come on, Bodies, Through the Eyes of a Ruby. Come on. If this album is so strong as a double disc that if you cut 2 or 3 songs, it could be a 10 out of 10 at like 25 tracks. So, it has way more sentimentality for my childhood, my youth. It's just, and it has such a range that has been very influential and inspiring on me as an artist, right? It has beautiful soft songs and beautiful heavy songs, and I love that range, and I love showing the different sides, portraying different sides, the multi-dimensions, if you will, of an artistic expression. And at this time, Billy Corgan was a musical genius. He hadn't lost the plot. He was very much on top of the plot. So I'm going Melancholy. All right, we got American Football versus Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. I actually think these albums are pretty equal. They're both great. I have a lot more experience with Born to Run. I grew up with it. The back patio slams and the door breaks down. I'm gonna get back down to the door, back down, door down. That was my that was like me encapsulating all of Born to Run in 10 seconds of gibberish. He's playing my favorite song, and I go down to the patio. And, woo! Woo! That, I don't know what the fuck that was, but I had to get it out of my system. American Football is Midwestern emo sauces from the early 2000s or mid 2000s. And they had a recent resurgence in popular indie rock culture. Oh, wow. That album's from 1999. So that's considered like the end of the first wave of a Midwestern emo or post-hardcore, I guess, whatever the fuck people call it. Shit. The thing is I think I'd rather listen to the American Football album because I've heard Born to Run enough. I guess it doesn't matter. None of these are going to end up my favorite fucking album of all time anyway. Who cares? American Football. Yeah. Okay. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic versus Doggy Style. I don't really give a shit about Doggy Style. It's a really good album, but I'm just not a Snoop Dogg fan. I don't really care. Whereas this is the best Red Hot Chili Peppers album, if not, maybe Californication's the best one, but Californication and Blood Sugar Sex Magic are the top two. So I'm going Blood Sugar Sex. Well, the radio's playing my favorite jam. The horsey con, the Jean-Claude Van Damme. I know it's right, but I need my lover tonight. That's more Bruce. There we go. My third attempt was the Bruceiest of the three, I think. But if you make a clip of that, maybe clip one after another or something. Like first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. That's pretty funny. All right. Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart, which was produced by Frank Zappa, versus Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots by Flaming Lips. Now, One could assume that I have a bias because I used to know the Flaming Lips, but I don't have a bias because who gives a shit? And also, this is not my favorite Flaming Lips album. My favorite Flaming Lips album is The Soft Bulletin, and that's by far. My second favorite is Transmissions. ... And I'm not even sure I would put Yoshimi in my top 3. It does have some fucking jams on it, though. Man, I've really been breaking out in hives on my hands and feet. Oh. I'm going to go Trout Mask Replica for fun. Okay, this is actually pretty easy. All right. London Calling by The Clash. There's too many songs. Not all the songs are my thing, like Jimmy Jazz and the whatever that Cadillac, Pink Cadillac, whatever. Not for me. I don't dislike those songs. I just don't really want them. That's not my taste in music. Sorry, Brand New Cadillac. Whereas like Lost in the Supermarket, Train in Vain, I mean, London Calling. Those are fucking amazing songs. But Downward Spiral is a masterpiece. It is a 5 out of 5. It is basically perfect. It is so influential, so monumental. You have to go Downward Spiral. I mean, come on. It's got Animal. It's got Closer. Wait, is Animal even a song? Am I making shit up? Hold on. Yeah, Animal and Closer are the same song. Sorry. Fuck off. No, it's called Closer. Hurt. That's what I was. Sorry. It's got Hurt. It's got Closer. It's got March of the Pigs. It's got Piggy. It's got it's a fucking amazing album, and it does really cool shit with odd time signatures and it's taking Ministry and it's taking industrial music and Skinny Puppy and Killing Joke and all that stuff, and it's mainstreaming it in a way that's broad and approachable, in a way that's great. Like it's one of those albums that, like, to actually hit the zeitgeist that hard and make art that actually generates millions of dollars and is hugely successful. I don't know. It's just very inspiring. Downward Spiral. Okay, I gotta smoke a joint for this. These are both great albums. These are both influential albums. These are both very important albums. Led Zeppelin 4 has Stairway to Heaven. It has Black Dog, Battle of Evermore, Rock and Roll, Going to California. I mean, every song on it is basically a classic. Same could be said about Nirvana's Nevermind. I mean, it's like, is Nevermind one of my favorite albums of all time? No. But is it objectively and broadly perfect? Kind of like my description for Downward Spiral. Perfect and broad, like, yes. I mean, Nirvana Nevermind, I think, man. Yeah, I think I go Nevermind. Just slightly. Wow. I mean, I'm going to go OK Computer, but like, these are both 10 out of 10. This is a perfect 35-minute pop rock record. The Strokes, Is This It? I love the production. And obviously it's cohesive. Every song is the same engineering and production approach and style. OK Computer is a masterpiece. Again, another example of a band or an artist such as Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral, where it is highly artistic, highly expressive, and yet broadly appealing and hits the zeitgeist. I remember, like, the week or maybe it was the month it came out, and it was already considered the best album of all time by, I think it was NME. So like OK Computer had knocked Revolver or Pet Sounds or whatever off of its perch, and it kind of is the best album of all time. I mean, there's a strong argument to be made about that. So OK Computer might end up winning this whole fucking thing, right? Oh, this is easy. Okay. So, Give Up by Postal Service. Great album. Do I ever need to hear it again? Fuck no. I've had enough. It's enough with Postal Service already. Enough. I feel like Postal Service is the artist / band that like people who think they're alternative, they're like, oh, I'm cool. I like the Postal Service. And it's like, you're just alt nation. You're not alternative. You're just alt nation. Megadeth Rust in Peace is arguably the best Megadeth album. It is arguably the most perfect thrash metal album of all time. I think it's much better than the Black Album by Metallica that came out the following year. So, yeah. And it's my favorite Megadeth lineup, too. Marty Friedman and, yeah. Anyway. Oh, the radio slams. The door gets shut. I was behind you, but I think I must. That was my 4th Bruce attempt. Here's the thing with Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Side A is perfect. It is a 10 out of 10. Side B is not. Side B is filler. Kid A by Radiohead is perfect. It's a 10 out of 10. There's no filler. Every track is unique, interesting, dynamic, forward pushing, boundary pushing. Globe and Mail, a Toronto newspaper at the time, gave Kid A 0.5 star because they thought it was arrogant and unmusical. It's one of the best albums of all time, Kid A. All right. Oh, boy. This is going to be controversial. I'm about to get controversial. I love Outkast. Aquemini is not my favorite Outkast album. It's Stankonia. My second favorite Outkast album is The Love Below, Speakerboxxx The Love Below. I think Aquemini might even be my 4th favorite. I think I like Atlians better. I don't know what it is about the aesthetic of Aquemini, but I've never connected with it. Whereas I think What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis is technically a perfect rock album. I think technically it is a 10 out of 10. And of course I have the childhood memory bias situation going on with it because, the first time I ever heard, I still remember the exact experience, the moment that I witnessed Wonderwall for the first time on Much Music. The first time the music video came on and I was like, wow. I was mesmerized. I was like, that is a fucking great song. And I bought the CD a week later. The title track, What's the Story, Morning Glory, is so good. Need a little time. Wait, how do I do Liam Gallagher again? Shine. Wake up. Need a little time to wake up. When the sun shines. Anyway, I'll work on my Liam a little more. Maybe I'll do an Oasis impression standalone clip another time. Anyway, Oasis wins for that. Okay, we got David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust versus Deep Purple, Machine Head. So I'm not really as into Deep Purple as I think others want me to be. This is not my favorite David Bowie album, but it is a classic in its own right. So is Machine Head. They're both considered classics. But I guess Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, that's fine. Stankonia versus Wish You Were Here. I'm going to go Stankonia. I think Wish You Were Here is a fantastic album, but there's something about that era of Pink Floyd that I'm good. I'm exhausted on it, I just think it's over, Comfortably Numb and all that stuff. It's just overplayed. Stankonia still sounds fresh to me. What the fuck is this stupid Antlers album? Why is it even in the conversation? It shouldn't be here. Sound of Silver, sure. Oh, fuck off. I guess the Money Store. Is this where things get really hard? Illinois. Oh, boy. Neil Young, I guess. Yeah. Probably What's Going On. Fuck. This is really tough. That one wasn't hard at all. This one's not hard at all. That's not hard. That's not hard. That's not hard. Some of it is hard. I mean, I think OK Computer's just gonna win. Basically. Lance Bass-ically. This is all very arbitrary because I think I know where this is. Actually, Bitches Brew could be Bitches Brew. No wrong answer. Man, I guess OK Computer. It just depends on my mood. I guess Kid A. Just depends on my mood. At least we're wrapping this shit up. OK Computer, Kid A. I think OK Computer just by a little bit. Probably OK Computer. Yep. Fuck right off. Is this what it's all come down to? Bitches Brew or OK Computer? Well, I mean, that's what I just predicted, so shouldn't be surprised. I mean, they both encapsulate my taste in pretty meaningful ways, or different aspects of my taste in meaningful ways. Different flavors of my taste, if you will. Different moods. These are completely different desires. They're different art projects. I don't know. I guess OK Computer. Fuck off. Oh, are we doing a whole new one now? All right, let's do this. Master of Puppets versus American Idiot. I don't really care about American Idiot. Master of Puppets by far. It took me a while to get into this album, though, I have to say. I used to find Lars's drumming too clunky when I was younger. And I mean, his drumming is objectively clunky, but this album is so influential, and every song compositionally is fantastic. So, Swans, To Be Kind. Shout out to Thor Harris, who has been a guest on this show, plays on this record. And, by the way, Thor has a Joy Division cover band called, I believe it's called Unknown Pleasures, but it's a cool little synchronicity there. I'm going Swans. Yeah, it's obvious. To Pimp a Butterfly. I will say, though, the Marshall Mathers LP is his best album, but, like, it hasn't really aged well. Pimp a Butterfly by far. Master of Reality versus Elliott Smith, Either Or. Probably Master of Reality. In Utero versus Freak Out. It's going to be In Utero. I love the Steve Albini production on this. It's my favorite Steve Albini production. I love the drum sound on it, where you take the stereo of the overheads and you move it a little to the right so that it creates a wider, it just makes it sound wider. Oh my God, my eyes are itchy. And it's my favorite Nirvana album. Freak Out is a great album, but it's not my favorite Frank Zappa album even, so In Utero. Okay, Joanna Newsom Is, or YS, however you pronounce that, versus A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. Obviously, they're both great albums, but A Love Supreme is foundational, and it's got some of the best jazz drumming on it, Elvin Jones, and I love the compositions. This is John Coltrane in his prime. John Coltrane. I just saw a meme today of this King Crimson album, except it's RFK Jr.'s face. So that's a meme that's been going around today, literally today. King Crimson, In the Court of King Crimson versus Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. You know, here's a really contrarian opinion. I don't really love either of these albums, even though I love both artists, which is very contrarian. I much prefer 80s King Crimson with Adrian Belew. And in terms of Jimi Hendrix, I actually prefer his other this is my least favorite Jimi Hendrix studio album, which again is contrarian in and of itself, but it's too bluesy for me. I'd rather listen to Are You Experienced or Axis Bold as Love, so I guess I go King Crimson. I'm not really a Dead Kennedys fan, and what's this? Oh, Violent Femmes? I'm even less of a Violent Femmes fan. Dead Kennedys. Okay, this is a very fair fight. Very fair fight. Let me just put some eye drops in before we duke it out. Oh my god. Ugh. All right, we got Homogenic by Bjork. Probably my second favorite Bjork album. Great album. Versus Who's Next by The Who. My favorite Who album. And I think one of the most perfect, near perfect rock albums of all time. Every track is amazing compositionally. This is, to me, The Who at the height of their powers. I'm going Who's Next. Okay. Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest versus Pinkerton by Weezer. Both great albums. I really like the production of Pinkerton. The songs are great. Low End Theory is a masterpiece. I love Q-Tip. I might go Low End Theory. Yeah. Oh, this is hilarious. Macintosh Plus Floral Shop. So Macintosh Plus also goes by Vectroid, and literally every Vectroid album is better than this album in my opinion. Go check out Vectroid. Synthetic Seed and Earth, is that what it's called? That would be my pick. If that was here, then I would go that over the Swans thing. And this album too, Neo Cali, is fucking amazing. I find some of her newer albums kind of unlistenable. Crash 2, Mac, like it's just CD skipping. Poly Travelers. Where's Seed? There it is. Seed and Synthetic Earth. That's my favorite one. I love that album. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Patti Smith fan. It has jams, but I'd go Rumors. So, I do think this is Jimi Hendrix's best album, but Loveless by My Bloody Valentine just has so much more influence and impact on me as an artist. So I'm going Loveless. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell versus Yankee Hotel, Foxtrot, Wilco. I didn't come around to this album until, and when I say come around, I mean I didn't understand the critical acclaim and the love for it until recently. It's a very adult album. Even though I did buy it in high school and I liked it, I wasn't Goo over Gaga for it. But I do think it's a better album than Pantera's Cowboys from Hell. Wow. You prick! You're a prick! All right. Let's get high. All right. Moving Pictures by Rush is one of the best albums of all time. It's a perfect album. The compositions, the production, the performances, everything's perfect, right? Grace by Jeff Buckley arguably has higher highs, like the emotional peaks of it are more exciting, arguably. However, I don't like the sucky shit on it. Like the wine songs, and I'm just not into that stuff. So I'm Moving Pictures. Oh, man, I'm so contrarian. I'm not even trying to be contrarian. I just, I have my own taste in music, and I'm happy to stand by it 100% without any holds bar. And that said, I think 2112 is one of the most overrated Rush albums. So I'm going Simon and Funkel. Bridge Over Troubled Water. I got to go to the bathroom. So I'll be right. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some shit off this DJ Shadow album, Introducing. It's a masterpiece. I love this album. And I highly recommend people check it out if you've never. Oh, man, I took a massive dump. Fuck, I've just been having horrible IBS all weekend. Oh, check out the movie Darker Days about the underground homeless community in the New York subway system. And it's all in black and white. It's a really cool movie, and the songs from this album soundtrack it, and that's how I actually discovered the movie. Sorry, discovered the album, rather. It's got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's a really, really good movie. Anyway, I far prefer Introducing by DJ Shadow over Aeroplane Flies So High Over the Neutral Milk Hotel. I love Jesus Christ. That's this album to me. It's just not for me. Okay, so Abbey Road is the better album. Even though I could probably do with like a shorter version of Maxwell's Silver Hammer. There's too much wacky Paul shit on here. Actually, Sgt. Pepper's has the same problem. There's too much When I'm 64 old granny music that I know John hated. He didn't even show up to the Maxwell Silver Hammer recording session because of his distaste in Paul's granny rock. So, but anyway, Abbey Road is the better album. I love how the second half of it are all 1 to 2 minute snippet style songs. It's like a medley, right? Like side B is like a medley, and it's very innovative, and the production's perfect, and it's just a cool ass record. My favorite Beatles record. All right, Enter the Wu-Tang by Wu-Tang Clan, arguably the best rap collective of all time. And we have the best album by Green Day, which is Dookie. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I prefer Wu-Tang, and I actually prefer the solo efforts of Wu-Tang. Like some of Raekwon and Ghostface's albums are some of my favorite rap albums. I think I'd rather listen to Dookie, though. I have more... I bought this album for my 8th birthday present. I got to buy Dookie when I was 8 years old. I love both these albums. I don't know. Right now I'm going Dookie. I don't really care about either of these albums. I don't listen to Arctic Monkeys, and I don't listen to Bob Dylan. Who gives a shit? Arctic Monkeys, I guess. All right. This is interesting. Animal Collective, Merryweather Post Pavilion, which is basically a perfect album, right? I mean, it's a perfect synth pop album. It crossed over into the zeitgeist, into like the Urban Outfitters, kind of millennial fashion. It's their most fashion-y album, and I think they were very self-aware of that, and like really went back to their artsy experimental roots on the following record in Centipede Hurts, which kind of ended their reign as the supreme leaders of the indie neo-psych pitchfork era, if you will. Thriller has some shit on it. I'm not like, I don't really like The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney. I don't dislike it. It's just it's fluff. And it's not Thriller's not even my favorite Michael Jackson album. I'd rather go for Off the Wall. So yeah, Merryweather. Oh God. Both masterpieces. I do think Remain in Light ends weaker than it starts. Like, I think the first 6 tracks out of the 8 are perfect, and then it kind of energetically falls off a cliff. Not to say the last 2 songs are not good, they're just not as good. Like, I'd probably give these 2 albums the same rating. They're both kind of like a 9.2 or something, you know? Illmatic. Shit. They're both so important, so influential, so vital. I think I go Remain in Light just by a cock hair. Oh, wow. All right. Songs for the Deaf is fantastic. I love the production. I love the Dave Grohl drums. I love the singles. But there are too many songs, and there are songs on it that I'm not really into. Toxicity is a near perfect album. This is actually my favorite Rick Rubin production, and it's System of a Down's best collection of songs. Love Toxicity. That's so funny. A Damon Albarn project versus his previous project. I mean, I know that both were concurrent in certain moments in time, but I don't really care about either of these records. I don't listen to either of these records. If I'm going to listen to Blur, I'd rather listen to Self-Titled, with, you know, the one with Song 2 and Beetlebum and shit on it. I don't really give a shit about Gorillaz, so Park Life, I guess. Godspeed You Black Emperor versus Black Parade. I'm gonna admit something here. I've never listened to the Black Parade. Should I? You know what? I'm gonna add it to my Spotify right now, and I'll come back with an opinion. I don't know what it is about it that just turned me off. It didn't appeal to me. So I guess I'm going Godspeed, but not that it matters. It's not like fucking I'm going to listen to the Black Parade and then all of a sudden it's going to be my favorite album of all time. It's not going to happen. Marky Moon versus College Dropout. I think College Dropout has the edge, even though Marky Moon has some of the greatest rock songs of all time, including the titular track, the name of the album. Also, the longest song in the album is Marky Moon. Did a little let it. Did a little let it. Did a little let it. I don't really care about Frank Sinatra, so I guess The Score by the Fugees. I'm gonna find you and take it slowly, ready or not. Like, that song's amazing. Oh la la la, love that song. All right, Kinda Blue by Miles Davis is a better album than any fucking full-length Supertramp album. It's not even close. Oh god, I feel like I'm being confronted. This is a very confrontational game. It's a twisted pretzel of emotion. I never loved Blonde. I know. Put me in prison. I know. And I got to be honest with you. I'm not even sure I love A Night at the Opera. I don't really. I'll go Blonde. Oh, okay. All right. Public Image, It Takes a Nation is a classic. I give the production, like the actual beats on it, 10 out of 10. I give Flava Flav as a hype man, 10 out of 10. I give Chuck D's lyrical themes a 10 out of 10, but I give the rapping style maybe like a 7 out of 10. It's just a little outdated. It's late 80s. It sounds a little goofy, you know what I mean? It's like, it's very similar to trying to listen to late 60s Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath, where it just sounds old. It's nothing, you know, it's just that the genre moved forward in both cases after those pivotal records. And so that's my thoughts. And then Dark Side of the Moon's a masterpiece. So I guess Dark Side. It's got some of the best production out there. And 1973 is like arguably the best year in rock music. So many great albums came out that year. In Rainbows versus this year's Model, I'm going to go In Rainbows. I love Jigsaw. I love Arpeggi, Weird Fishes. Yeah. Feel good about that. This is another situation where like both albums have songs that I really love, but I don't really fuck with either of these albums as full lengths. I find them both boring and tedious. That said, Hunky Dory does have some of my favorite Bowie singles, like Changes. So I'm going to guess Hunky Dory. Master of Puppets. Pimple Butterfly. Love Supreme. Wow. Tricky. King Crimson. Who's next? Rumors. Loveless. Moving Pictures. Abbey Road. Dookie. Merriweather. Toxicity. College Dropout. Kind of Blue. Dark Side. In Rainbows. They didn't include David Bowie Low, bro. They did Ziggy Stardust and Hunky Dory, but they didn't do Low. Shout out to Low. Shout out to my t-shirt. Pimple Butterfly. Love Supreme. Who's next? Oh, fuck off. Here's the thing. Moving Pictures is a more perfect album. I have some issues with some of the mixing and mastering on Loveless. It's not consistent. And I know that he's reissued this fucking album a million times on a million different formats. And I'm sure that he's fixed those things. But man, Moving Pictures is like in my DNA. I'm from Toronto. That's one of my first compact discs that I, as Samuel Chown, owned. And I've owned that album since I was 5 years old. Loveless, I didn't discover until I was 15. So I'm going Moving Pictures. Controversial. Abbey Road. About equal. I guess I'd rather listen to Toxicity. Kind of Blue. Dark Side. Love Supreme. Wow, yeah. Moving Pictures. Just, this is all very slight, right? Man, I don't fucking know. Let's go Toxicity. Just for fun. Kind of Blue. Moving Pictures. I mean, at this point, I'd rather listen to Toxicity. I've listened to Kind of Blue so many times that I guess Toxicity for now. Moving Pictures. So this is what it all comes down to, folks. Does Shmu prefer OK Computer by Radiohead or Moving Pictures by Rush? I guess OK Computer. Did I do it? Did I win the game? Am I winning games? Sure, I'll download your stupid image. Fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right, y'all. That's me doing the best albums of all time bracket fight according to whoever made this bracket. Thank you to the person who did that.